Okay, it's that time. Oops, wrong box. I am a lot more confident going to plant corn this year than I was last year, because this year I actually had the chance to, you know, try it out beforehand. So we've already checked seed depth and all that fancy crap, so all we got to do today is plant, and we know it works, so as long as the monitor doesn't throw a fit, we should be good. Guess I need to go over here and close this valve, because that could make a mess. It's got a cap on it, but still don't want. I left these things open over winter. A little bit of water left in there, and RV antifreeze. Oh, should just have to, I can get 9 acres on a fill, so if I fill it once, we shouldn't have to do this again. Come on, darling. Well, I got it going. I'm wondering if the fuel tank got some water in it while it was sitting. Because it ran kind of shitty for a little bit. And I had to adjust the fuel mixture a little bit, so I guess we'll see if I have to adjust it back when it gets some decent fuel in it. First day problems. Alright, this field is getting Wyckoff 2195. If I remember right, it's 97. It's either 95 or 97 day. I think it's 97 day. That sounds more right. I wanted to try some shorter season to see how it would do. Worst part about having 3 bags is kind of split them even between 8 row units. Okay, here goes nothing. row 7's not doing anything. Row 7 is a new sensor, so why is it not doing anything? It's locked in. Oh, that would be why it's not doing nothing. Okay, so we're gonna have a few feet of dead row there. So the monitor's working. She's doing her job. So good, other than row number 7 here is gonna have like 20 feet of no corn in it, but that's fine. Won't see it once everything's tall enough anyhow, right? That's why it's on the end row. Yeah, this is plant. I mean, you can't ask for a better seed bed. Look at that moisture. That is just, that's just gorgeous. For as difficult as the weather been being here the last couple weeks, right, Teeter? This is an awesome seed bed right here. But I'm going to go ahead and get all my end rows planted off, because that's the pissing around and a bunch of maneuvering and whatnot, and make sure we ain't got any issues, and I'll catch you when we actually start doing some planting. I tell you what, I love this planter. This thing is, I should have bought one of these things years ago. I've already got 3 acres done, and I've only been at it for 45 minutes. Like, and most of that was dicking around planting the end rows, which with a planter this size, it takes you longer to plant the end rows than it does to actually plant the field. But, oh, this was just, and then planting 6 mile an hour instead of, you know, 3.5. I mean, don't get me wrong, I can't knock that 540. She served me good for many moons, and it was a good little planter, and it helped get me started. But man, of course, that being said, if you never start where I started, you can never appreciate just how badass a planter like this is. Like, this is, it's like going from a Yugo to a Corvette. Like, yeah. Flawless. I mean, we got her dialed in. Okay, so note to self, next time you fold this thing up, put the wing lock on before you pick it up off the ground, because apparently it'll unfold itself and then you can't fold it back up without setting it back down. But anyhow, that was a lot less eventful than the first day of planting corn last year. No fertilizer problems, no monitor problems, just went out there and she just did her job like that's what she was born to do. And oh, that feels so good. It's just, when everything just works, it's like, that's the best feeling in the world. And according to that monitor, that field's 7.5 acres. And I've never got that much on the drill. The most I've ever got on the drill is 6 3/4. So I don't know which one to believe. I mean, by the seed usage, because there's basically, I mean, I'm basically out of seed for the most part. It was down into the, it was like down here into the well. So let's just say 3 times 80,000. No, yeah. 3 bags, 80,000 seeds in a bag's 240,000 seeds. So remember that number. And then 7.5 times, and it was basically 30,000. 225. So I mean, yeah, as long as the monitor's right on seed population, then yeah, it's only 15,000 seeds. So yeah, I mean, it could be 7.5 acres. Well, 7.4 is basically what it said. Uh-oh. All right, sorry about that. Neighbor's puppy got loose, and her and Teeter were, or he and Teeter were going around like lightning. So weren't fighting, they were just playing, but still had to get them wrangled. Anyhow, so yeah, if the, like I say, if the math works out with that monitor and the seed usage, because I basically used all of 3 bags, which if I was 6 acres, 6.5 acres like I thought, should have had a fair bit of seed left over, and I don't, so it would make sense. But I just planted 6, well, okay, so I just planted 7.5 acres in basically an hour and a half after work, like start to finish. That was end rows, whole 9 yards. Not, I mean, if I still was running a 540, I could have got all that planted tonight, but I'd have been going till dark. I'd have had to stop to about 3 times for fertilizer. I could have planted it all on one fill with seed, because that thing held a fair bit of seed, but fertilizer not so much. And I mean, I could have got it done, but it would have taken me till dark to get it done, and that would have been coming here, having everything ready, getting right on it. Like, I came over, when I got off work, I came over here, so I'd had Teeter with me. Had Dad take me back to my house to get the tea, which I went home last night and hooked that up to the planter, so that was ready to go. But then I had to drive it over here. So I mean, I get off work at 3, and I didn't basically get started filling the planter till about 5, a little before 5. So I mean, yeah, it just worth every damn dime. This thing is, before I bought this, I'd say the 4150 was the best thing I ever bought. After buying this, it's really hard to say if it was the 4150 or this thing is the best thing I've ever bought. Probably this thing by a thin margin, because it's probably saving me more money on seed and fertilizer. But God, I love this planter. I love it so much. And it's so cute because it's an 8-row forward fold. Like, it's so tiny. It's basically almost a waste of space, because it's not a whole lot narrower folded up than it is unfolded, but it's still just cute. But anyhow, I'm gonna run into town and see, there's another 4.5 acre patch that should be dry enough to go. So since I got daylight left, I might run into town and get to finish or run over that, so I got a place to plant tomorrow. because they took the rain out of Thursday. Now it'd be nice if they take the rain out of Friday, because if they take the rain out of Friday, I can get that field planted. And Friday evening, Saturday, I can go over and get the 40 at my uncle's worked. And then Sunday, I should be able to get that 40 planted no problem with time to spare. And then that would be a big chunk of corn out of the way between what I got here, what I'll plant tomorrow, and that. So, anyhow, I'll run into town real quick and check that field and come back, and we'll tack a little bit of groundwork on the end of this one. Sounds like a plan. about another hour and 45 minutes with road travel. There's another 2 little fields ready to go for tomorrow. About another, probably about another 7 acres. There's a tick over 2 here at Grandma's, and then that first field I was at's about 4.5. I'm curious to see what they end up being off of the planter monitor versus the drill, because the drill is what I've always gone off of before, because the 540 didn't have an acre counter on it. So it's kind of only had, well, between the drill and making satellite maps, which are only so good in themselves. But anyhow, I'd try to go get another field, because there's one. I honestly was not expecting this field to be this dry. This field worked beautiful. There was just down where the waterway is, it was a little sticky, but other than that, this ground is, I mean, that right there is the kind of ground you want to plant right into. But I don't want to work too far ahead and then end up not being able to get some ground planted. That being said, with that 6180, I'm not necessarily too worried about working into stale ground if it would get rained on. But if I had to do it, I'd much prefer I had row cleaners on it, so there was something, a little something ahead of the row units to bust the crust up. But I think even without row cleaners, it'd be fine. I don't know, there's just always that stigma about planting in the crusted ground. But anyhow, pack her up for the night and call her good, and we'll hit her again tomorrow after work. So I guess that's it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one.